Some of you may be going, oh God, I hope they don't see me. But it's worth looking into because it affects all kinds of neurological things. I'm not an expert, but I live with an expert and I hear about it a lot. So, if you're a chronic pain patient and you're addicted to nicotine, your pain's not going to get better because the nicotine affects your brain in some really interesting ways. But I will not be addressing nicotine addiction beyond what I just said. Okay. So what is chemical dependence? Here's how it's defined by the National Institute of Drug Abuse. Addiction is a primary chronic disease of brain reward, motivation, memory, and related circuitry. Dysfunction in these circuits leads to characteristic biological, psychological, social, and spiritual manifestations. This is reflected in an individual pathologically pursuing reward and or relief of substance use and other behaviors. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means it's a brain disease. It has signs and symptoms. These are things about, it's not a disease unless these things exist, right? It has signs and symptoms, it's chronic, it's progressive, it's fatal if not treated. Some chronic diseases might not be fatal, but definitely the chronicity, the progression, and this one is fatal. And if you're around the recovering community at all, you end up attending funerals, and it's just how it is. Some people just don't make it. So it's serious. It's serious. The biological effects, the physical effects are chemical tolerance. So like maybe one drink gets the person a little tipsy the first time, and then 2 drinks gets them tipsy, and then over time they don't get tipsy at all because it doesn't work for them anymore. That's one of the symptoms of alcoholism, one of the effects. If they stop taking their drug of choice, if they're addicted, they'll have symptoms. And chemically dependent people, they crave drugs, and without them they don't feel normal. So it's not about, after a while, it's not about the drugs and the chemicals taking them to get high because it stops working because they develop tolerance, right? So they just have to take it to feel normal. But if they stop taking it, they're in trouble. The signs and symptoms, these will be really familiar. Frequent intoxication, once a person starts off and they can't stop. Blackouts is a big one. Kids who are harmfully involved, they'll tell you, oh, I went to this party and they tell me I was dancing on the table and I was acting out and I guess I was really funny. I don't remember any of it. Ha, ha, ha. And I go, oh, that's not a good sign, Or they'll say, well, I'm not an alcoholic. I can drink, I can drink a fifth of gin. That's not a good sign. So there's blackouts, there's